Okay, good morning, everyone. It's nice to see all of you.
Hi.
We're so excited to welcome Ebony Nichols this morning to be our whole school time speaker. And we're going to start, as always, with meditation, and then Ivan will introduce Ebony. So Tracy, I'm going to throw it to you to lead us in meditation as always.
1, 2, 3. One, two, three.
Okay, we're going to go to Ivan now, who can introduce our speaker.
Thank you, Tracy. Thank you, Ms. Duncan. What an honor this morning to introduce Ebony Nichols. She is what the world, a traumatized world, a world that's been beaten up by a pandemic and indifference to the struggles of the poor, people of color. It's been a crazy, crazy transitional year. And what a wonderful way to begin the healing by introducing a world-renowned dancer and choreographer. You've all read Ebony Nichols' very, very impressive resume. And what I want to do is briefly weave her into this speaker series that's been going on since basically the beginning of the pandemic. I don't know, Ebony Nichols, if you know, but you're following a strong lineage of wonderful speakers. We had Lewis Hamilton, who was a Formula One world champion, I think 7 times over, George Lucas, Star Wars, Glenn Close, among others. And what you and they all have in common is you've created and shared a life of deep meaning, dynamic virtue, and transcendent joy. It's particularly exciting for us that I think everybody moves in our school one way or another. And one of the heart of our school in many ways is teaching students to be able to move with power, with grace, with dignity in their lives, both metaphorically and physically. And you do both as a profession. I've been reading up about dance since I know very little. I admire it from afar. I'm incapable of busting a move, but it seems to be a fact from anthropologists that dance was probably the first art, and it was used back then as it's used now to heal, to recover from trauma, to tell stories of things we've experienced and things we want to experience, and it's to build community. And you have done all of this on the grandest of stages. From a very simple beginning as an 8-year-old. We're so excited to hear about your path, and we have some wonderful questions from our 8th grader. It is my pleasure to introduce Ebony Nichols.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, everyone. Good morning. It's nice to see everyone and be here today. I just want to thank Ivan and all of the teachers for having me. This is just a really warm moment for me. It was just my birthday the other day, so I am, starting a new trip around the sun. So this is very special to be here and to talk to you guys. I think I should just maybe go first, and I'll just kind of run down a little bit of my life and how this all started, and hopefully answer the questions that you guys have to the best of my ability. But again, I'm Ebony Nichols. I was born here. I live in LA. I was born in Orange County, which is about an hour away from here. And I am a middle child. I have an older sister and a younger sister. My parents have been married for 45 years. So I am happy and grateful for that. And after I was born in Orange County, I lived there for about 5 years, and then I moved to Moreno Valley, which is about an hour again away from Orange County, and that is where I took root. And in Moreno Valley is where I found my dance studio and where I started to dance. I was about 7 or 8 when I started to dance, and it was really kismet how it happened. I remember it very vividly that there was a flyer stuck in the mailbox of my house, and my mom brought it in, and she was like, "Oh, there's this dance studio that's opening, do you want to try?" And I was like, "Sure." I didn't really know, I just said sure. And my dance teacher at the time, I was his first student, which I didn't know. He had a little tiny box studio that just had 1 room and 1 bathroom. And it was he and I was his first student. So I started off having these private dance lessons, and he nurtured me from there. I have no other word but nurture. He took me under his wing, and I learned all of the styles there. I started off with jazz, and then from there I went to ballet, and then I did hip hop and tap and African, all there at this studio. And I stayed at that studio until I was 18 years old. And around 15, I got the bug a little bit to want to teach, and he saw that happening. And so it kind of became like a fair exchange. So I was teaching at the studio, and that's also how I was paying for my lessons, because there was so many, and my parents had other kids. So I had to kind of offset the cost a little bit. So I was teaching the little tiny babies, their shuffles and their plies. And when they're that little, you just do it all in one class. So we had this big class of just jazz, tap, and ballet all together. But I would say around 15, when I started to teach those kids, is also when I got the choreography bug, because I was teaching the kids the choreography. So I stayed there. Like I said, I stayed at the dance studio until I was 18. I literally grew up there. I have friends now that I have from the dance studio. We've all grown up. We're all in relationships. We have kids. It's like we are all still very much a tribe from the dance studio. And at 18, I auditioned for a scholarship at Chapman University, a local school here, and I got it, thankfully. And so I went to college. And I went to college for dance. So at Chapman University, I studied dance with a minor in choreography, and I got out of there in 3 years. I was very, very, very focused. My parents were very much like, you go to school or you get out sort of thing. So that sounds terrible, but looking back, I know what they were doing. So I graduated actually 3.5 years from Chapman. My last year, a friend of mine asked me to drive her to the Laker Girls audition because she needed a ride. I was like, oh, well, since I'm driving you, I might as well audition. Let's see what happens. So needless to say, I got the team and my friend didn't, and I felt really bad about that. But I was a Laker girl for 2 years. So I went from college to dancing for the Laker Girls for 2 years, which was amazing. Those were the 2 years that they won the championship. So it was really fun to live in LA and to be a Laker girl. And that was kind of the beginning for me. Then I really got my taste of the LA bug, seeing all the celebrities coming to the games and starting to meet people. And then it just happened. I didn't go back for a 3rd year because I felt like I needed to really bust out and just figure it out. So I just started to go to audition after audition, audition after audition, audition after audition. And eventually I started to book these dance jobs, and I started to become this LA dancer, and thankfully became a very popular LA dancer. So I worked with a lot of artists, which I'm sure that you guys saw, but I'll run down a few of them for you because I think it'll be fun. But so I've danced for Beyonce, which I think you guys saw. I've worked with J.Lo, Rihanna, and Usher, Will Smith, Missy Elliott, Snoop Dogg, Nelly, Neo. I had a very, very awesome, and I'm grateful for the career that I've had as a dancer. So I went on all these tours and went across the world dancing with people. And then I just kind of decided that all of this choreography that I was doing for the artist, I was being taught. I was being a part of somebody else's creation. And I decided that I wanted to start to do my own. And I wanted to try to bust out and see if these artists would hire me as a choreographer. So I took off my dance shoes and I started to pay my dues as a choreographer, doing tiny jobs for little money, getting my friends to, do the steps for me so I could create a reel and, record them so I could pitch myself to different artists. And thankfully, I've also had the same agent as well since I started dancing. So I've had my same agent since I was 21, and he was very, very, very good to me. So he helped me figure it out. And we just struggled through the mud together and we figured it out, thankfully. And so I started to then choreograph for Snoop, and then I choreographed for Solange, and I started to choreograph for these artists that I was dancing for. And then I really had to make a decision. I had to decide if I wanted to do live music or if I wanted to do film and TV. And I chose film and TV because the hours are a little different. Like the live music stuff can be like all day and all night, and film has a little bit more of a regiment. And that's kind of where I stayed. So right now, I don't know if you guys have heard the show Jane the Virgin, but I choreographed that show from season 1 to season 5. I worked on Fresh Off the Boat from season 1 to season 6. I also worked on Perfect Harmony. And right now, the world is just kind of starting to open up a little bit. So I have some meetings next week, and hopefully I'll get another series and I'll be back to it a little bit. But I did have some downtime to kind of refocus and again, have a birthday and like really hone in a little bit. And here I am. I worked with Lee Daniels on the Billie Holiday movie, which was great. I worked on Night School. I choreographed Night School. I choreographed Girls Trip. I just met an ice skater. I choreographed, what's that ice skating movie? I can't remember right now. So yeah, here I am, getting back into it after the pandemic. And I'm so happy to talk to you guys and answer any questions you have.
Thank you so much, Ebony. That was terrific. Like Ivan said, we do have a ton of really great questions, so we'll get right to it. Our first one is from Catherine Leone.
Hi, Catherine.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
I would like to thank you for being our virtual speaker today. And I read in your bio that even in your busy schedule, you still find time to give back to the community by mentoring dancers and helping them accomplish their dreams. My question for you is, what teaching methods do you use to help them? Did you encounter these methods on your own learning journey?
That's a great question and really well said. I like to do this first. Whenever I'm getting kids together and to talk to them and mentor them, I always like to talk first. I want to relate and I want to let people know that I am human. Just because I've done all of these things does not mean that I am, on some pedestal or anything. But that's the first thing I like to do. I want to talk. I want to see where everybody is and try to meet them there. And I also want to dance. The methods I like to use too are always dancing. I want to find out like what kind of music everyone likes. Are we in a hip hop vibe? Are we in a jazz vibe? Are we have tap dancers here? Like what? Oh, we're there. And that's really what I do. I try to meet kids, especially kids, where they are. So I want to talk, make sure that we're all on the same page. And then I want to move. I want to catch a vibe. I want to turn the mirrors facing us or away from us. I want to turn the music down or the lights down. I want to dance with partners. I want to dance by ourselves. I want to do floor work. I want to really try to touch people and kids, especially the way that I felt like I was touched as a dance student. And my dance teacher always met me where I was. If I was having a bad day, or if I felt like my hair was crazy, or I had a hole in my leotard, like we always worked it out. We talked about it, and then we pushed through to get to where we were going.
Wonderful, thank you. Our next question is from Sophia, who you met in the green room already, but she has a question for you.
It's Sophia, my little dancer. Tell me everything.
So I read in your biography that you started dancing at the age of 8, and that's
Yeah.
the same age that I started dancing as well. So my question for you is, what are the main things about dance that inspired you to remain dedicated for so long?
Well, it's a great question. And honestly, I caught the bug, you know how you just start to, my dance teacher told me that I was good. And I don't know if that was true or not, but I think I wanted to please him. And because he told me that I was good, I felt like I wanted to keep going. And what really inspired me was also the different levels of the dancing. Like, you start off at jazz 1, and then you get better and you go to jazz 2, and then you get better and you go to jazz 3. And I felt like I have this little competitive spirit in me, and I wanted to keep growing through the studio. Once the studio opened fully, there were these older dancers that were so good and they were so beautiful and their buns were so slick, and I wanted to be that. So what inspired me was definitely the older dancers. What inspired me too was watching the music videos and wanting to do that and seeing all those dancers and, looking at them and feeling like they look like me. I can do that. So that's really it. And I think that you as an 8th grader, you're in a great spot to really keep going. I remember being in the 8th grade and I remember going to dance class after school, and I just kept going. So if you love it, I say dig your heels into the sand and, maybe decide what style of dance you really, really love and hone in on that one, and then kind of go from there, and seeing if there's another style that really, really, that you like.
Such good advice. We're going to go to Tracy next, who is going to have to leave us a little bit early to go to a high school orientation meeting. So I want to make sure that she gets her question in before she has to go. Hi, Tracy.
Hello. So I learned that you attended Chapman University, where you majored in theater and dance. So can you tell us the process that you went through in selecting this university and which best served your study of interest?
Which process, and then what was the last part, babe?
Said which university would best serve your study of interest?
Yeah, so the interesting thing about Chapman is that Chapman came to my high school looking for dancers. So Chapman wasn't on my radar. I kind of wanted to be out there where you guys are. I wanted to go to NYU. I felt like I wanted to leave LA and just get out of my house a little bit. And Chapman kind of came looking for me in theory. I ended up going there because I was accepted to a couple other California schools. I ended up going there because their dance program was amazing and still is amazing. Like the dancers that come out of Orange County are just top quality for sure. And so the process was a little different for me in that way, that they came to my high school looking for dancers. But as far as getting into the school, I had to do all of the things. I had to go and I had to audition. I had to, do a paper. I had to sit down and talk to the faculty about what I wanted to do while I was there. Chapman is a private school, so it definitely was selective about who came and who didn't. But I was, looking back, I'm so grateful to have gone there. It wasn't too far from my house, so I could still go home and see my family, but it also was a really solid dance education. It taught me a lot, again, about, composing and looking at other different forms of dance, but also that dance is also not just physical. I use my mind a lot and I write a lot of choreography down, which not a lot of people do. And I learned that at Chapman. So yeah, that was the process, really. It was fun. I'm glad. I love Chapman. I still do stuff there too.
Thanks, Ebony. All right, we're going to go to Zoshi Katsali next.
Hi.
Hi, good morning. As a dancer choreographer, what does it feel like to see your creative ideas being performed on well-known music videos and TV shows?
That's a great question. I would say as a dancer, it was just amazing to see yourself on TV, to tell all your friends and your parents, hey, I'm going to be on the American Music Awards tomorrow. Make sure you watch. It's going to be great. So that was always fun to share with family and to also see yourself. As a choreographer, it's very fulfilling to also know that what you've created, other people love, because there is a process. Just because I say to do it doesn't mean that the artist is going to do it. Dancers will always do, thankfully, whatever you ask, but the artist could not love it. So the fact that you've gone through this process of creating something, teaching it to them loving it, and it then now making it onto the screen, is just very, very fulfilling. I now, when I do stuff, I invite my friends over, of course, pre-pandemic, and we sit and we have watch parties and we have food and we hang out and we watch the show that's coming on. So it's very fulfilling. I'm very grateful and thankful for all of that to happen, because again, it is a process. Just because I say it doesn't mean that it is so. Yeah.
Terrific, thank you. Our next question is from Yuritsi Flores. Yuritsi?
Hi.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I think that the work you have accomplished throughout your career is incredible, and it is inspiring to see women of color dominating creative spaces. Can you tell us a little bit about what it is like for a woman of color in your industry, and what advice would you give young women of color who want to pursue creative careers?
Well done, you. That's a great question. Here in LA, it definitely is, for lack of a better word, a hodgepodge of things. There's Black, there's white, there's Mexican, there's gay, there's straight, there's all of the things here in LA. So to be a woman of color here and to be a professional is okay, which it should be everywhere. But I do feel that as a dancer choreographer, I demand respect as a woman of color, and I also give respect. The one thing I would say too, to all of you that are thinking about this career, is that, you always want to come professionally dressed. You want to make sure that you look good, that you smell good, that there's just a vibe to you as a person, because choreography and dancing is such a physical thing that people have to trust you in a room. And so you want to look like you can be trusted, for lack of a better way of saying it. But as a woman of color in this profession, I've always felt that I have to be good. I have to be prepared. I have to have my choreography. I have to have my music. I have to have my speaker. I have to have my clothes. I also have to have all my shoes, my hip hop, my ballet, my tap, my jazz. I have to be ready for anything. So I hope I'm answering your question, because it is such a good one, but I also feel like I give the respect that I demand in the room. And as a woman of color, I enjoy that. I don't mind to be the only Black woman in the room. I welcome it if that's what it is, the only Black woman, the only Black person. It's all fine for me. I feel like I know my stuff and I'm ready. So that's what I would say too. Just know your stuff and be ready.
Great advice again, thank you. Our next question is from Rihanna.
Hi,
Rihanna.
Good morning.
Hi, good morning.
Hi.
I read that you started dancing from such a young age, and so my question for you is, how has dance shaped your childhood, and how did you balance your time with dance practice and your other obligations, such as schoolwork?
Oh,
Oops,
the host has asked you to start your video. Okay. Something happened?
Yep.
Okay. Okay.
All good.
That's a great question too. My parents, my mother specifically, was an educator. So school was very, very important in my house. All three of my sisters, we all have graduated college, and we all are in our professions that we went to university for. So at a young age, I just remember my mom was very strict about, this was your school time and this was your dance time. And so that's how it was for me growing up. And then once I started to get into high school and got a little more, freer and was able to drive, I was able to combine the two. I would go from school to the dance studio, and we would all do our schoolwork and our dancing there. But I definitely grew up with the importance on both. Not one was more important or less important than the other. So that's how I was able to balance it. My parents were very inspiring to me and also kept me in line. But I also wanted to do that. I wanted for my parents, I wanted for my mom to do good in school. You know, again, like I was saying earlier, I wanted to please my dance teacher, but I also wanted to please my parents. And looking back, I'm really glad that I did. And that's what I want to inspire you guys to do. You know, you can do all of the things, but you just have to make sure that you're doing all of the things well. So if you're gonna dance, then you can dance. But if you want to do poetry, you can do poetry. If you want to do ice skating, you can do ice skating. But you also have to do your schoolwork. Yes. I love that you guys did that meditation before. I was glad to be a part of that. That's so important. You set your intention for your day and you get it done. Like I'm sitting here literally right now with my pen and paper, taking notes as you guys are talking. And this is what I do during the day, you know, write it out still. I'm not in school now anymore, but I do what you guys do. Like your guys' questions are really good. I can tell you thought about them. So this is what you do during your day. You focus on all of the things, You give everybody everything at space and you'll get it done. I'm really impressed by you guys. I have to say, like you teachers there. I mean, I watched the poetry slam, and so I'm obsessed with the school already and all of the things. But I love what you guys are saying and asking. Hi there. Is that our first? I see it yawning. I know. So I thought he was going to.
Thank you for saying that, Ebony. It's really kind. Yeah. We have a couple more questions, if that's okay.
Yeah, of course.
We'll go to Sitlali next. Sitlali, ready?
Hello, good morning.
Hey, good morning.
I learned that you and Mandy Moore are co-governors of the Choreography Peer Group of the Television Academy.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little about this group and what are some of your responsibilities as a co-governor of a choreography peer group? That's a tongue twister.
No, I know it is a little twister. Great question. Yeah, so the Television Academy is where you were actors, dancers. Oh, did I lose you again? Okay, there we are. Where you win the Emmy. Do we have one in here for sure? No. Okay, we should bring one out. So where you win the Emmy. So the Television Academy is a group of individuals that vote on the Emmy. So there's different peer groups within the Television Academy. So there's costuming and there's actors and there's wardrobe and there is also choreography. So the legendary and fantastic Mandy Moore and I are the co-governors. And basically we are in charge of the dance department. So you can win an Emmy for choreography, which is amazing. And not something that you have also something you've always been able to do. So our responsibilities are to get dancers and choreographers into the Television Academy. So we have a group of people that can vote, not just 5 people. We of course would love to have 500 people. And within that, we make all the rules and we govern our specific group and we vote on who wins the Emmy. So it's very, very, very exciting to know that you can change someone's life because winning an Emmy for choreography it's just the most amazing thing. And Mandy and I are great friends and she's won 3 times at this point. And so she is an amazing choreographer. So I'm happy to know her and happy to, be a part of this amazing group with her.
All right, we're gonna go to Melissa next. Melissa.
Hi, good morning.
Hi, Melissa. I love that orange behind you. Good morning.
Thank you. How has your dance style and the work that you have produced evolved over the years? What inspired the changes in your dance style?
Honestly, my choreography has evolved because I've evolved. I've just grown older. I've, fallen in love and made a little tiny human. And so my voice as a choreographer has shifted. So when I first started dancing, it's all about being so precise and being almost better than the next dancer next to you, or just being, you know, when I was on the Laker Girls, it was very regimented. Like everyone's head was the same, everyone's arms are the same. And then as I started to dance more for different artists, then it was like, you know, oh, okay, I can do that, but my face can be different. And then now as a choreographer, I've evolved into like, what I like to do and what I like to teach is like a combination of jazz and hip hop. So I've kind of moved away from the classicalness that I was taught at a young age. And now I do like my own little style of kind of like jazz funk. So my style has evolved because I've evolved. I've grown up a little bit, and now I kind of do what feels good to me a little bit, and no one is telling me what to do. I'm telling other people what to do. And that's kind of how it grew. It grew just because I also grew. But that's what I like to do. I like to do a little bit of jazz funk now.
Awesome, thank you. All right,
Yeah.
let's go to Zaida next.
Zaida, I just want to say,
Hi.
just interrupt for a second. Zaida is fuego. And we got some dudes in here too. I want Ebony to know we got some boys who are also brilliant, but Zaida is amazing. So Zaida, ask your question, and Ms. Duncan, see if you can, I know Jimmy's got a great question, and Brandon. All right, sorry.
Hi, Zaida. You're my ice skater, yes?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Hi.
Hi.
I'm not a professional dancer, but I am a figure skater, and I hope to make a professional career out of it. Dancing has been a part of you for dancing has been a part of who you are for the longest time, and you have managed to turn your passion into a successful career. At what point in your life did you know that dancing was your passion and something worth committing to?
Yeah, I would say, like, what point in my life did I know it was my passion? You know, I would probably say like a little bit older than you guys. When I started to teach the little munchkins, that's when I kind of knew that I really, really loved dance. And I could see that the love that I had was going to my munchkins, and I could see how happy they were. So something clicked. I'm like, I'm happy doing this. They're happy learning. This is what I want to do. I love this. Like, how can I make this work for the rest of my life? Having parents come up to me and tell me that their daughter talks about dance every time they leave, or, you know, all they want to do is dance. And that's how I felt when I was little. I felt like all I wanted to do was dance. And so I think that my passion kind of kicked in when I was like a teenager, you know, when I was like 14, 15. And even still now, I'm so excited. You know, it is super early in the morning here, but I could talk about dance with you guys all day. So I also want to tell you, Zaida, that the movie that I choreographed was Blades of Glory. I don't know if you've ever seen that, but that was a figure skating movie with Will Ferrell. That's his name, yeah, Will Ferrell. So yeah, if you get a chance, look back at that. That was one of the first movies I choreographed when I started working.
That's awesome. All right, we're gonna go to Jimmy. Ivan said he does have a really good question. He's having some audio issues, unfortunately. Okay. But this is Jimmy. Jimmy, give a little wave.
Hey, Jimmy.
And if it's okay, I'll ask his question for you, since he is having some microphone issues. So his question is, here at EHS, sports and fitness are a very important part of our culture. As a dancer, what are some of your favorite health and fitness tips?
Ooh, good one. So I am definitely, let me just make sure I don't miss it. I am definitely a little bit of a health buff. I believe in the 80-20 rule. So 80% of the time I eat healthy, as much as I can, as much as around. And 20% I kind of have what I want. So I split it up into the week. So I have 5 days a week that I eat completely healthy, organic. I stop eating at 7 o'clock at night and don't eat again until 7 the next morning. And then 2 days a week, I kind of like loosen the rein a little bit. I am definitely still into fitness. I have a Pilates machine in my, in my garage. So I see my Pilates teacher every other day if I can. So that's also my regimen, is just 1 day on, 1 day off as far as fitness. And yeah, I drink lots of water. I have it all here. I always have my morning tea to get it going. And that's really it, Jemmy. I just kind of like, I don't really too strict a life. You know, I do feel like you've got to have some cake sometime. You got to have a donut a little bit. I had lots of cake for my birthday. But when I'm done with you guys, I'm going to get on the Pilates machine for all that cake that I had. So I hope that answers it.
Thanks, Ebony. All right, we're gonna go to Geraldine next. Hi, Geraldine.
Hi.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
I read in your bio that you mentor young dancers. Since you
Yes.
have a lot of experience, you must have so much valuable advice for young dancers that you wish you knew when you were just starting out. My question for you is, what is something you didn't know when you were a beginner that you want to tell young dancers?
That's a great question. Gosh, there's so many things. It's kind of what I touched on a little earlier. I think that when you look your best, you feel your best. And that's one of the things that my dance teacher very much instilled in us. We were not able to come to class unless we had our hair in a bun, and not perfect, but we had to present ourselves in the way that he wanted to see us. And also, so when we looked in the mirror, we felt good about ourselves. And so now, again, at 43, it's one of the things that I really, really cherish, that I'm so glad that he taught me, is that presentation is important. So I would definitely tell a young dancer that, that it doesn't have to be perfect, but it is important. Also too, I really feel like all of the hours that I spent in the dance studio completely paid off. And I wasn't always good. And I wasn't the best turner when I started. I wasn't the best jumper when I started, but all of those things got better because I, again, dug my heels in and decided that this is what I was gonna do. And I just did it. And so that's what I would say to my young dancers, and what I do say, put the hours in, put the time in. It will get better. It will turn itself around. The presentation thing, like I said, and then also just being true to yourself, being true to where you are at that moment in the dance. So many routines that I learned at a younger age, I now know that they were a part of my growth as an individual. We did dances about homelessness. We did dances about, cancer, and just all of these things at a young age that I didn't really understand. And now as an adult, I understand that I have a certain level of compassion for things that people are going through in their life because I did a dance about it as a younger dancer. So that would be my advice, presentation, being true to yourself, honoring where you are, and just doing the hard work, because it does. I am a true example of the hard work paying off.
Ebony, we want to be mindful of your time this morning. Do you have time for 2 or 3 more questions?
Yeah, I didn't even know what time it is. Yeah, totally.
Okay, great. Great. All right, here's Troy.
Hey, Troy.
Hi. All right. My question is, I learned that you were sorry, I'm looking at the wrong question. I wrote this down.
Okay.
Sorry. If you weren't able to pursue your career in dance, what are some other career paths you would have been interested in?
I love music. So I think that I would have maybe figured out some kind of way to be in the music industry. I don't really know what that means. But I do love music. I love all types of music. I love jazz, I love country, I can't think of 3 right now, but I love them all. I love, like I was listening to 80s rock this morning. I'm not even sure how that happened so early, but I just love it. I also too now am just thinking about my life, and I probably may want to be an agent later. So I wonder if that's something that I would have done too, is maybe become an agent and agent kids and help them, figure it out and reach their potential as far as booking jobs and getting them auditions. And I don't know. I think it would have always been something in the business. I don't know, but I think it would have been music, maybe fashion. I do like to get dressed up. I put on a nice shirt for you guys this early in the morning. So maybe it could have been fashion. I don't know. I'm still young. I feel like maybe I'll be a director next. Maybe I'll start directing music videos and hire some of you guys to be, you know, in my crew or dancing in my music videos or figure skating for one of my projects. Yeah, sky's the limit still. I'm still with you guys. I'm still figuring it out, going more and more into this life.
Well, we can't wait to see what you do next. All right, I'm going to send it to Allison for our next question. Hi, Allison.
Hi, good morning.
Hi, good morning. My question for you is there a celebrity or a dancer that you haven't worked with yet? And would you like to work with them someday?
Oh, Allison, there are two people that got away from me and I still don't know how it happened. I mean, I do, but it didn't happen. So Madonna, I never was able to dance for Madonna, and I auditioned for Madonna 4 times. And I still don't know why she didn't pick me. So Madonna got away from me and I love her. And then Janet Jackson, like, how did I never dance for Janet Jackson? I went to all the Janet Jackson auditions and I just was going so hard and working so hard and felt like I wore all the right things and just never worked out. So those are the two. It's funny that you say that. You could ask me that question 20 years from now and it'll still be the same 2 people that got away. But yeah, those are the two. It's a good question.
All right, our last question will be from Alexa this morning.
Hi, Alexa. Good morning.
Hi, good morning. Oh, wait, can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear you.
But I hear you perfect.
Good. Hi, good morning. How are you?
Hi, I'm good, thanks.
So my question for you is, has motherhood changed your view of dance?
Yes, motherhood has changed my view on literally everything. Like looking at you guys and how amazing all of your questions are. It's like, how can I get my son to be like you all? Like, I'm so thoroughly impressed about all of you, how great you look and how like expressive and how clear your questions are. Like, my hat is literally off to all of you. And yes, motherhood has changed me, how long I work. You know, I want to get home. It's changed my sensibility as a choreographer, you know, teaching people and asking them to do things. You know, there is a way and the grace that you have about you to ask people to do things, and motherhood has softened that. And it also has allowed me to literally see everything different. I see this tree behind me different. Like, can my son climb that? Can I climb that? Can you all climb that? I just see the world in a different space. So yeah, it has changed me. And I know that was the last question, but I do want to just say to all of you that I, again, am I'm so grateful to have this moment to talk to you all. I hope that I inspired you in some way, and I hope that I've showed you that things are possible from the littlest to the biggest. And I just want to, you know, to encourage you guys to keep going. You know, I always use that digging your heels into the sand as a metaphor, but it really is true. You know, I have dug my heels in the sand and I will not be moved. I will dance, I will choreograph, I will be a mother, maybe I'll be a director, maybe I'll be an agent. I don't know, but I do know that I am here and I'm staying here and I'm going to continue on. And I hope that you guys all do the same.
Ebony, thank you so much. It has been such a pleasure to get to know you this morning. I'm going to ask Alexa to lead us in a moment of silence, just to take in everything that you shared with us this morning. And then Ivan will wrap up the morning with a few thoughts, if that's okay.
Yeah, of course.
All right, Alexa, go ahead.
1, 2, 3. One, two, three.
Thank you, Alexa. Ebony Nichols, I want to thank Devin Spurgeon, who's responsible for our speaker series and particularly for bringing you to our community today. What an inspiration you are. I think you were asked what professions might be ahead of you. I hope you would also consider being a public speaker. I mean, you carry yourself with such clarity and poise, and at the same time, such joy and energy. You are a true testament to, well, first of all, you're a tribute to your parents.
Yes.
Their hearts must sing and ring every day. I hope that they get to see you, maybe see you in this moment with us. I mean, you really speak with great beauty and power. You're a testament to a liberal arts education. The focus, the discipline, the articulation. You're also a reminder to us, because we also talk about wanting children to find their passions. And here you are, somebody who manifested the power of finding a passion because you concentrated your force and effort into dance, but it feels like the world is opened up to you too, the more you concentrated and developed your extraordinary talent and ability. You are a wonderful teacher as well, and I do not say that lightly, because probably like your mother, I think that is the highest of professions. So here you are, you've reached the peak of your art, and then you're also a wonderful teacher. So I am eternally and presently grateful. I do think that what you do has a profound impact on all the students that you teach, and dance is truly an art form that heals and tells stories and builds community. And you built our community and made it a little stronger today with your extraordinary presence and presentation. So thank you so much, Ebony Nichols. I don't know if you have any final words of wisdom, but I was scribbling down everything that you were saying. So we will speak about you for a long time after these final words, if you have any.
Again, I just am thankful to have been here, thankful to have shared this moment with you all. And I am going to leave feeling the same way. That was so nice, Ivan, what you said. And I'm a little touched by that. So thank you guys for having me. And I'm happy to come back anytime. And again, dig those heels in and don't be moved.
Thank you so much, Ebony. Have a wonderful rest of your day.
Thank you. Talk to you guys soon.